Hello all, Dr. Andrew Von Plitt here again with another live stream. Today I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. The past few videos I've done, live streams, have gone on a bit long, I would say. So I'm going to try to limit the amount of time that I spend rambling on about things and keep these a little bit more concise. Hopefully that will make better use of your time and my time. So I'm going to start a timer, and the goal is to get to everything I want to get to in 15 minutes. If I don't do that, then I will just save anything I didn't get to for the next video. So let me get the timer going here. All right, 15 minutes is going, and let's get started. So I'm basically just going through some comments and questions that are on previous videos as usual. Go to andrewplitt.com or drvonplitt.com, drvonplitt.com. For more information about who I am and what I do if you are new to this channel. So let's just jump right in. The very first thing that I want to do is give a shout out and a big thank you to JD Smith for becoming a supporting member of this channel. Really appreciate the support. I appreciate all you supporting members. Thank you for what you do. And thanks for joining the community, JD Smith. Really, really happy to have you. So thank you for that. The other thing I'm going to try to do in this video is move around less because while I was looking for a time tag in a previous video to reply to someone's question, I noticed that I tend to look away from the mic a lot and toward the mic, and that changes the volume of my voice quite a bit, and it was pretty annoying. So I'm going to try to reduce the amount of times that I do that. Hopefully it will make your viewing or listening experience a little bit better. So let's jump into comments here. All right, looks like it's been a little while since I've done a live stream, so let's see. I don't think I've responded to this one yet. This one's from Mountain Peak Cloud. This is in response to a previous live stream that I did answering their question. They say, "Hi, Andrew. Thanks for taking the time to address my question about John Zhuang and stance training. It's greatly appreciated and very helpful. Cheers." I'm glad to hear that, Mountain Peak Cloud. Very happy to answer the question. I'm glad it was helpful for you. My pleasure. So thanks for the comment. Thanks for the question. All right, we're going to move on to another comment. That was, I guess this one's more of a question comment that was left on another live stream that I did previously. This is by AC, who is also a supporting member. So thank you for being a supporting member, AC, and thank you to all the supporting members out there. Let's see. AC says, "Hi, Dr. Von Plitt. Could you please talk a little bit about breathing and practicing Tai Chi and Qigong? Your guidance would be greatly appreciated." So, well, I'm planning to keep this to 15 minutes, but this could be a series on its own, breathing. But what I'm going to do is just talk a little bit about just some basic concepts. The first thing is when you're doing Tai Chi or Qigong, if you don't have good instruction or guidance, either from really good source material or from an in-person instructor, it's totally fine to just do more natural breathing and focus more on relaxing your breathing so it doesn't feel tense and tight, and getting full breaths in, full breaths out. There's many types of breathing that you can do. One of the most basic, beyond just kind of natural breathing, would be abdominal breathing, and that's basically where you relax the abdomen and breathe deep, not into the abdomen necessarily, but it feels like you're pulling that breath down and drawing that breath down toward your lower dantian as you inhale. So the abdomen expands as you inhale and contracts or relaxes, I guess you could say, as you exhale. As far as Qigong goes, it really depends on the type of Qigong that you're practicing as to what type of breathing method you're going to use and what the timing of that breathing is. So obviously there's not a lot of timing with standing post because you're just standing there, so you're not having to match your breath to specific movements. In the version of John Zhuang that I teach, there can be hand movement of the hands apart and toward each other, and so you can match your breathing with that. So inhale, exhale. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that can be said for Qigong, and it would need to be kind of specific to the style of Qigong and the exercise itself. But sticking to just natural breathing, very relaxed, full breathing, or abdominal breathing is going to be great for that. With Tai Chi, you can get a little bit more detail on that without getting into a specific style. Typically, the thought process with Tai Chi is that you will be doing inhales in transition movements and exhales in specific postures or the expressions of the movements of the form. So say parting the horse's mane, for example, you would exhale as the arm comes out, and then you would inhale as you transition, and then exhale as the arm comes out for the next side, something like that. And that is kind of a standard, reasonable way of doing it. And of course, with that, you can use either natural breathing, abdominal breathing, or if you have a teacher that can be working with you, you can use reverse abdominal breathing. And so those are options. Those are some things that can be done. There is also this concept of breathing in a way, like maintaining your breathing kind of regardless of the movements that you're doing. And this is something that I encountered the first time I was in China. I was training with someone. I think I've talked about this before, but really skilled martial artist. Had a lot of fun sparring with him. And we were talking about breathing one time, and he said, basically you can't always be matching your breath to the movements you're doing, because if you're sparring with someone, you're going with every movement, you're going to hyperventilate, trying to keep your breathing matching your movements. And so it's useful when you're doing the form to work on movement, coordination, and relaxation, and different components of Tai Chi. But when you're actually sparring or using Tai Chi with someone, push hands, whatever, then it's better to maintain a normal cadence of breathing and regulate your breathing that way, and only match it with your movements when it's necessary for like emitting power or something like that. So it's a big topic. There's a lot that you can go into, but if you just stick to the basics, either just natural breathing, abdominal breathing, and when you express a movement, exhale. When you're transitioning between movements, inhale. Those are just some basic starting places. And if you're wanting to go beyond that, it's probably a good idea to work with someone to get more details on that. So I hope that was helpful. I know it's very surface level answer, but I feel with a topic like that, that's about all I can do in a quick Q&A session. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the comment, and thank you for being a supporting member. Oh, it looks like, let's see. Smooth Buddha left a comment. It says, "Hi, Andrew. Could you speak a little about dragon sickness, Qigong psychosis? As it is known, I'm diagnosed bipolar a few years ago. Do you think this can be an issue with energetic practices?" Okay, so these are illnesses that can basically come about with Qigong practice, and it's not a super common thing, but it is something, especially if someone has kind of a predisposition to sort of mental health disorder. It is worthwhile to work with a Chinese medicine practitioner, as well as healthcare practitioners who are helping you manage any mental health conditions that you have, if you're going to be engaging in any Qigong or energetic practices, just because there is a greater tendency toward those types of Qigong illnesses. And it is something worth knowing about. It is something worth paying attention to. It is something worth working with a Chinese medicine practitioner if you're going to be going into Qigong or energetic practices, and you have a predisposition for these things. But for most people, it's not something that really has to be. It's not so common that you have to worry to, not you specifically, Smooth Buddha, but in general, people don't generally have to worry about it. So yeah, typically if you're feeling like, well, there are different ways these can manifest, but like agitation, almost as if you are like kind of like, yeah, like you're aggressive. It feels like your energy, instead of being smooth and flowing through the body, it's like it's building up a tension and like a almost anger. Those are some symptoms that can show up. Really, if you feel like any mental health condition is getting agitated by your practice, at that point, it's best to stop and seek help from someone who you can work with in person, who has training in this area. Ideally, a Chinese medicine practitioner, if you're going to be doing, Qigong type exercises, and this is something that's going on, and with your mental health practitioner who's helping you manage the mental health condition itself. So, yeah, it can be a pretty big topic. I think a Chinese medicine practitioner is better qualified to talk about these specifically, since that is kind of the expertise of Chinese medicine, is to talk about Chinese medicine pathologies. So I'm going to leave it at that. But I would say if you have a diagnosis of bipolar, it would be a good idea to at least do a consult with a licensed Chinese medicine practitioner and keep your primary care or mental health provider in the loop on any exercises that you're going into. Just make sure everyone's on board, knows what's going on, and you have regular check-ins to make sure things are all going in a good direction. And Kirk Mills dropped in a Vulcan salute. So right back to you, Kirk. Kirk is also a supporting member. So thank you for being a supporting member. Let's see. And I hope that answered your question, Smooth Buddha. I hope that was helpful. And with that, I'm going to jump on to the next question here. Okay, this one I will come back to. All right, so this one is on a Qigong Basics video number 9 for the Standing Post Qigong series. This is left by a user, Chad G, who is also a subscriber. So thank you, Chad, for being a subscriber. Chad says, I feel guilty getting all this information from your videos for free. Thank you, though, and many kudos. Well, Chad, I'm glad you're enjoying the information. If you feel guilty about it, you are, of course, welcome to give a donation. There are many ways to do that, or become a supporting member of the channel. So that is a great way to alleviate that guilt. But if you don't have the resources to do those things, I totally understand. And I hope you continue to get great information from these videos and enjoy the content. So thanks for the comment. Thanks for being a subscriber. Let's see. Next one is from a previous Q&A session by user S Cone. They are also a subscriber, if my words will work. So thank you, S Cone, for being a subscriber, and thank you to all the subscribers out there. S Cone says, thank you. I look forward to the videos, and thank you for answering. So this is in response to an answer that I gave in that video. Now we're moving on to a couple videos from the Yang Tai Chi 108 long form series, and user T Robson says too much beautiful hand waving. So I don't know if that's that T Robson enjoyed the beautiful hand waving so much that it was overwhelming and that's why it's too much, or if T Robson believes that I am just doing too much that's unnecessary. I don't know, but I'll take it as the former meaning. So thank you, T Robson. Glad to hear you enjoyed my beautiful hand waving. All right. And the next comment is also from T Robson. And T Robson says, body moves first, hands follow, turn waist chi at Dantian. So good thought there, T Robson. Thanks for sharing. All right, let's move on. Okay, so this one is also on a previous Q&A session. It looks like there's another comment here. Smooth Buddha says, thanks, Andrew. You're very welcome. Hope that was helpful. Yes, so this one is from another previous Q&A session. This is from Brian Ross, who is also a subscriber. Thank you, Brian, for being a subscriber. Brian says, hi, Andrew. Are there any specific stretching exercises that should be done before practicing Tai Chi? Honestly, before you do Tai Chi, it's probably better to do more warming up exercises rather than stretching, and then do your stretching after you've done your form. Typically, at least I found, doing the form training is enough stretching for me to maintain flexibility, at least reasonably good flexibility. So when you have good silk reeling motion in your movements, it really helps develop the flexibility of the body. And also, we need to consider the flexibility is a function more of the nervous system than of the muscle fibers themselves. And so as you bring sort of the sympathetic tension tone down in the body and the nervous system, that will help with flexibility too. But as far as stretching before, there's not a specific thing that you should do necessarily. If you're going to be practicing a lot of high kicks, definitely warm up the legs, do some limbering exercises. More active stretching would probably be a good idea. So like low stance training, shifting from side to side, things like that, of course, doing it in a safe manner. But I would say what I typically use, and I think I've said this in previous videos, before doing Taiji practice is silk reeling, just basic exercises. So like outward reeling, inward reeling, whole body integration. So I use that as a way to both get into kind of the silk reeling mode before I do my form training, to focus on that aspect of training, but then also as a warm up because it does engage all the joints of the body. And if you just spend, 5-10 minutes doing that, that's a great way to prep the body for Tai Chi training. So, I mean, if you feel like it is safer for you to practice after stretching, then by all means do what feels safest for you. But typically, stretching before an exercise actually alters your proprioception during that exercise. And 15 minutes. Let me turn off my timer real quick. All right, let me wrap this up, and then I'll wrap up this video, and we'll come back for more in the next video. So yeah, stretching before exercises can potentially increase risk of injury because it changes your proprioception of where your body is in space. And so that's why it's typically recommended to save stretching for afterwards. There can be, of course, caveats to that, but um, as always, do what feels safe for your body, practice in a safe way. And if stretching helps you move better and prevents injury for you, then just look at the movements that you're doing where you feel like you need more flexibility and practice stretches that focus on those areas. And I would do it after training, but that's up to you. So do something that warms up the muscles, gets your joints ready for the motion and the movement and the practice. That's what I would do. So thank you for the question, Brian Ross. Thank you for being a subscriber. Again, thank you to all the subscribers out there. Looks like one more. Let's see. Elizabeth Glende says, hello, glad to catch you live. I've been enjoying your content a lot. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. I'm so glad to hear you've been enjoying the content. Thank you for the comment. I saw that you left a question on a video, and I had planned to get to it today. But since I'm trying to keep this to about 15 minutes, I'm going to wrap up now. I'm going to come back and get to that one and a few other questions in a future video. So I hope the information that was given in this video was useful for everyone. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope keeping it closer. Well, I'm already to 17 minutes, so much for the 15-minute goal. But I hope keeping this closer to 15 minutes is going to be helpful for everyone and not have to wade through sort of cumbersomely large videos. So anyway, I wish you all the best. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being supporting members. Thank you for your interest in Tai Chi and Qigong and your enthusiasm. And I wish you all the best. I will see you in the next video.